Oh my god, hello, hi, how are you? And it's Kendall here. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuit? And happy Saturday. If you don't know what Saturday is when I do a little something on my channel called Bad Movies and a Beat. The series on my channel where I talk about bad movies whilst putting my makeup on. Oh my god. My honker nonker doinky boinkies from post 2020 weight gain are spreading my sweater out and it's choking me. Also these gains. No, I'm joking. Soft. So this week we're in no way getting monetized. So we're gonna definitely run it over to Admiral Kennie today. Who's sponsoring? It's okay, send it over. Admiral Kennie, whichever direction she's in. Okay, bye, paper bills. Why, hello there everyone, it's Admiral Kennie to let you know that today's video is sponsored by Raycon. Raycon's everyday earbuds look and feel better than ever. I don't know what accent that was. That was like New Zealand, British. Raycon's everyday earbuds now look, feel, and perform better than ever. With optimized gel tips, you're sure to find one that is going to fit exactly in your ear hole. I was about to say irissy, but they're not gonna let me. They offer 8 hours of playtime as well as a 32-hour charge on the battery case itself, and they're priced just right at about half the price of other premium audio brands. With that price, style, and comfort, it's no wonder that they already have over 48,000 5-star reviews. Me, recently, I've taken up jump rope again. Not as easy as it was when I was 8, gotta say, but with these, they don't come out of my ear when I'm jumping, which is great. So feel free to check out my link down in the description box. That is buyraycon.com/Kennie to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Big thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on to the debauchery. So last week I had my first introduction into Mortal Instruments, the not quite incest story. Those comments? Side note, the comments in that video were so wild because I didn't even know half of the stuff that went around the Mortal Instruments foolishness. But anyway, if you want to check out that video though, you can check it out up above, or you can check it out in the Bad Movies and a Beat playlist. So today's movie is a lot. Valentine's Day is swiftly upon us, and for those of you like me, who is perpetually Valentine's-less, my dating life is fucking tragic. It's hilarious though. I need something sexy to entertain me for a bit, and I failed because I found this instead. Today we're walking into yet another of the myriad of 50 Shades of Grey knockoffs that came out circa 2015. And though in many ways they're all pieces of shit, this one was a somewhat uniquely bad piece of shit. Who thought we could reinvent the wheel type situation? Today we're looking at a movie called Bound, 2015. Not to be confused, the one from the 90s. I don't know what that one's about. And I remember watching the trailer for this movie maybe a year or two ago, and it definitely was on the list. I wanted to watch it. I knew it was bad, but I was also at the same time talking about actual 50 Shades of Grey, and I thought, do we need all of these at the same time? But some time has passed since I last talked about 50 Shades of Grey or any adjacent works, so I figured it's time. And also Valentine's Day, what can I say? It's a time for love? I don't know. But yes, it's been on the list for a while, but I have one particular Twitter follower that is adamant. Hey you. Every day it was, are you gonna watch Bound? I hope this Saturday is Bound. Bound? I saw them. The day has come, okay? You know who you are, this is for you. The daughter of a wealthy real estate broker falls in love with a younger man who introduces her to B&D and S&M. Using her newly awakened sexual prowess, she finally takes charge of her own life. Sure. I guess it's a quite generous interpretation of the movie. It's the first of these quote unquote sexy movies that I've watched that I nearly could not finish because like it was so bad that it kind of felt like retrospectively E.L. James is now winning a Pulitzer Prize because in comparison it's like this unreachable masterpiece. I will say of all of the quote unquote sexy bondage crap that comes out of these movies, this one had the strongest undercurrent of creepy, which was something I wasn't really prepared for. That is my mistake because it actually is understood as a thriller and a drama and not a romance. So I guess I should have clocked that, but I guess I'm a bit primed for this weird turning everything terrifying about these interactions in these movies into like something desirable and sexy. So I guess that's my bad. Because this movie does have a twist that I really wasn't expecting, and it's like truly horrifying the entire way through. So again, if you're going in expecting it to be that horrifying, then you're golden, you'll be fine. But if you're going in thinking it's going to be romantic and sexy and living out your like fantasy sex life situation, I would hope not. Because again, this movie is bonkers. With that said, obviously spoilers ahead. I will tell you though, as all masterpieces, it is free on Tubi. It's not a Tubi original by any means, I don't think, but it is there. Check it out if you want to. That being said, it is sexually explicit. Only watch it if you're of age to do so. Thank you. So, without further ado, this is Bound 2015. Our main character is Michelle, 40 some odd divorcee, mother of one, a daughter, a teenage daughter who's incredibly annoying, and she'll come up later, but she's a part of this incredibly successful real estate agency, or formerly incredibly successful real estate agency that is run by her father. At the beginning of the movie, she's like in a boring, unrequited relationship. Like the guy's really into her and she's not really into him. We are introduced to that unfulfilling relationship via their very vanilla and boring sex. And like, though the sex scene is cringy and awful, I was so distracted by one thing. Well, two things, I guess. I am so distracted by her titties. And let me explain. As a person with giant boobs myself now, I've accepted that these titties are just what I get from quarantine. I kind of love them now. They're like my own like stress balls. It's like, these are here. You have an incredibly thin frame, these giant boobs, and they're super perky. Obviously, I can't show you. But I'm sitting here like, is it a lift? I don't think they're implants. Is it just because you're God's favorite? What's it like? Must be nice. Every time she's topless, I'm looking for like, is that a wrinkle of a bag in there, like an implant? Do I see any scars from lift? I want to know. Is it exercise? Do you like do this shit that they do on fucking like they be doing titty ups and stuff? What do you do? But anyway, yeah, she's unsatisfied with her sex life. We kind of know that that's what makes her kind of primed for adventure into a new chapter into her life sensually and sexually, which leads to how she meets Ryan, who is going to be our dom of this movie, and he's the fucking worst. Of all the like doms that they've made in these movies, like he makes me want to beat his ass. So she's at dinner with her daughter. They leave, and once she's back at home, she realizes that she left her credit card at the restaurant. One of the things that they do when they show him is have this like weird supernatural thing. Like they do like a whoosh. And he gives all the like, you know, what we can think of as like quintessential dom energy thing that we've seen at this point in all of these movies. They really don't pick new shit to do. Like, come on, switch it up. He doesn't blink, and he speaks like an untrained ASMR boyfriend. Shout out to the trained one though. In comparison to all the other like doms or whatever from these movies, 50 Shades of Grey, 365, all of the bullshit from Passion Flicks, he's pushy in a way that makes me viscerally respond, which again, before I realized this is a thriller, was very, very strange.
I want to talk to you.
What would you want to talk about?
Nothing too crazy. Yeah.
Like he invites her to have a cigarette. She says she doesn't smoke, and he's like, yeah, you do.
Have a cigarette with me.
I don't smoke.
Yeah, you do.
Am I supposed to find this hot? I'm supposed to find this hot? And also his body language very much so reads like 16-year-old boy testing out pickup lines that he got from dickheads on YouTube. But beyond that, we're supposed to believe that he's just so alluring that she gets wrapped into the full aura of him. He's such a presence, enigma. So much so that she goes with him into the smoke room. He rolls his own cigarettes. What is this, fucking Tom and Jerry? I mean, to each their own, but I just find him incredibly unpleasant the entire time. So it's hard for me to really get it. Like how, I don't get it. One thing about me, I'm gonna fuck up my liner. They're in this smoke room, and he's like incredibly pushy and incredibly gross. He starts like groping her and kissing on her neck and stuff, and the whole time, despite them having all this like mood music to make it sound like, oh, it's like, well, I don't know what they want me to feel. I think they want me to feel like, oh, this is hot, but it's also uncomfortable. And if that's the case, you got half of it, right? One, because she doesn't want to do it. And two, because they're in public and eventually all petulant like a child. He's like, fine. He's like, no, it's cool, but here's my number. Girl, throw it away. Throw it in the garbage. The garbage. Reggaeton. Roll the credits. There's nothing more to see here. It's done. It should be over. There's still like an hour left in this movie. So, okay, here we go. Alas, if everyone made all the right decisions, we wouldn't have a movie. So here you go. Bitch, oh, bitch, come on. The B plot of this story, I guess, is her job. Snore. Houses. A merger. She, again, works with her father. Business hasn't been great. So they are about to be bought out by another company, and she's the only person that's like, don't do that, we could do something else, we don't have to be bought out. But they talk like an obscene amount about her job because it ends up being like a whole like actually weirdly important subplot. But there was something very like Birdemic about it. It's like, I don't give a like, I don't want to watch a movie that's about your normal ass 9-to-5 job. Who wants to sit there and listen to like property rates and interest rates when I came here to watch some people slap cheeks? But yeah, it's just a bunch of like hilariously long and specific scenes about business. And it's just like, what the fuck? But basically, long story short, business isn't great and they're thinking about selling it. And she's like, don't. That's all you need to know. She breaks up with the nice guy that she was having boring sex with in the earliest part of the movie, which broke my heart because he seemed really nice. I thought maybe he would come back as like a scorned lover or something. And maybe that's where the thriller element, because these movies love to create like a worse quote unquote enemy as if it deflects from the fact that the main male character is truly horrifyingly awful as well. But no, actually he's just a nice guy that she dumps because she doesn't like him. And I'm just like, I mean, you can't control how you feel about people, but damn, he was nice. He really cared about her. He cared about her kid, cared about like building a future with her. Yeah, the sex was boring, but like, speak up. Let him know you want to do some bondage play. And if he's not into it, then maybe it's like, okay, yeah, the sex is bad. I can't, like, we're just sexually incompatible. She breaks up with him, says that she doesn't feel the spark or whatever. And he's like, okay, I'll give you some time to think, what have you. So instead of going with the like healthy, communicative, loving guy, she's like, let me call up this motherfucker Ryan. Stop accepting less just because that's what you're used to. I know that's a word for somebody. I don't know who. Amen. Okay. But yeah, she's like, Ryan? That's about how much I hate myself. Let's call Ryan. And he invites her to lunch at a friend's house, and come to find out that friend is Terrell Owens. Who you owe money? You were like an athlete, no? He said he did something with a ball. Football? Is there a hoop? I don't know. I know the name Terrell Owens. I don't know why you're here, but he's like this cameo. He owns the house. He's the friend. He knows Ryan for some reason. And they're all having a pool party, and she comes over mid-work day for lunch. Ryan does that thing again where she says something that she does not do. She exerts a boundary, and he's like, fuck your boundary.
I don't drink in the afternoon.
Yeah, you do.
My only concern is that somebody may actually find this like overt disregard for boundaries hot, and it's just like, no, honey, no, babe, no. He's like incredibly unattractive and pushy. Like I don't understand at all. And he asks her like, I really have no chance of getting this monetized. What turns your sprinklers on? That'll work. One thing about me, I will twister my way into monetization. Soon we start to realize that Ryan has a weird like desire to sabotage. Like that's his thing. And I noticed it very quickly because I'm a Capricorn gang. And so I noticed very swiftly he was fucking with her bag because she would be on the phone and she's supposed to be at work because she has this big like thing that she's trying to do with their like whether they should sell, whether they should merge, whether they should do whatever at their company. And she misses meetings, important meetings, and she misses important things that she needs to do because she's philandering with this imbecile. And beyond that, he seems to have this weird like kink around that. He wants to like do sexual things at her office after work. Very specifically wants to do sexual things on her father's table because that particularly gets him off. There's no like vibe check passed. It's like something that's vaguely creepy, all permeating in all of their like sexual encounters for the most part. Has this thing where he really wants to hear about the first time she ventured south on a solo trip. And she tells a story of her being like quite young, as most people tend to be. The combination of that story with what's happening just made me deeply uncomfortable. I just did not like it. And then also him feeling like, yeah, I want to do this on top of your dad's desk. Like, let me like pound you on your dad's desk. And it's like, ugh. He gets on his knees and eats forbidden fruit. Poetic. Somebody needs to make that into lyrics. Don't. I'm gonna keep that. And then, if this scene could not get any worse, revolutionaries. They really made me uncomfortable in ways that I have never been. He like brings out some random panties, some random used panties, not hers, and says, "Here, put them on." Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Wow. Okay. Sorry, that's just really sorry, the more I think about just the yeast infections. And after making her do this, he exerts that he is now, quote, her master, her husband, her God, and her daddy, in that order. Afterwards, he brings her to the outside of a BDSM dungeon where apparently he's not allowed inside because the bouncer like sees him and he just says, never mind, let's not go inside. But she gets a glimpse of what it's like on the other side of the underworld, the dark, seedy underbelly. So instead of being able to go into the dungeon, he instead tries to smash her in an alleyway while one of the people outside watches. And she's like, no. And again, he gets shitty about that. And he's like, okay, well, fine, let's go to my house. So they go to his house, and lo and behold, as all these movies kind of do, he has his own red room. I am mystified yet again by how her titties defy gravity. It's truly, I don't know how she does it. Teach the people, queen. Please do. They have a sexual encounter of sorts. It's a little unclear what was happening, but something happened, and she seemed into it. But again, because she's canoodling with this weirdo, she ends up having another situation where she drops the ball at work. Always consider the bag, and it's really frustrating to watch my queens. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. Fumble a bag for dick. I just can't. Baby, queen, majestic maternal energy. Stop fumbling bags for dick. Imagine losing this beautiful home you have because you started having sex with like pickup artist dick. I would shame you. You deserve to be shamed. Girl, stand up. My God. But she's too busy to worry about her career is floundering because she's too busy hanging out and doing like weird slow-mo shots with this dipshit. And the next, this is kind of funny. The next thing that happens is they go to like a funeral or something. Somebody died. He's like, oh, put a little buzz zap zap. Some weird secret. And then during like a eulogy or something, he's just like, bzz, 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 bzz. Clown behavior, just truly. Now at this event, a bunch of her like business colleagues are there, which makes that even worse. They end up like messing around a little bit in the bathroom and smudging her lipstick. And he's like, yeah, keep it smudged, you dirty little whore. Let all your people that you're trying to work with and like secure your finances with know that you're a dirty little whore. And so she goes outside, her lipstick smudged. And they're like, are you drunk? What is going on? Were you guys just in the bathroom together? Like, you're so unprofessional. And somehow, and the only reason she didn't get fired is because her daddy is the boss. That is the only reality in which she still has a job. Because also, he starts pulling out all the like conservative talking points.
You are? None of your f***ing business.
And you're here because?
Because it's a free f***ing country.
He starts buzzing her while she's trying to like pitch business. Imagine messing up a bag over clown dick, especially based off of what I seen. Like without the other accoutrement, this is very vanilla. And so finally she starts to actually deal with this fucking bozo. She's like, you messing, well, she don't say this exact, this is how I interpret it. You messing with my bag, little ass boy. But for some reason, instead of like never talking to him again, she starts looking up like spanking 101 and notices that one of the girls that teaches it is someone that knew Ryan, was no longer like friendly with him anymore. So after that, she goes to her dad. She's like, yo, I'm sorry for dropping the ball all the time recently. You're the one saying like, don't sell the business. And you're also putting everything in jeopardy for Ryan, who is, quote, a drug dealing car thief. Where we found this information, where he got this information, I have no idea. Did she always know about this and dealt with him anyway? I don't know. I don't know if I missed something along the way, but cool. And again, despite her very classless behavior, he gives her yet another chance to prove herself because she's the boss's daughter, honestly. With that said, does that mean that she dumps the guy who is like fucking up her job? No. Again, they have like pretty vanilla sex. After all that build up. I don't know. I guess I thought with all this like lore around him to some degree, I thought he would like tie her up to the ceiling or something, you know, get wild, do some Tarzan shit, and then he just, never mind. She asks afterwards if she could spank him, and he gives a very like pensive no. Tells her that she isn't ready for that. That's his domain essentially. And you just say, thank you, master. After she says, I mean, I still want to try it, he like angrily throws her out. I don't know. With all this like master talk, it really reminds me that I'm a nigga. Because being a nigga really shades a lot of aspects of your life, doesn't it? Like, I'm yet to be choked by a white man, but it is one of my Y'all don't need to know my business. But it's one of my fears that I'm going to have like an ancestor like, all we've done for you. People died, Kendall. Sorry. Anyway, you don't need to know about me like that, especially when I am unsullied, untouched, like newly fallen snow. True. It is true. Anyway, Michelle goes back to the dungeon and talks with one of the girls, the girl that apparently had fallen out with Ryan earlier. And she essentially says like, yeah, he gives us a bad name. He is really shitty. And while she's there, she's like, you seem to be more like a person that would be more of a dom. So they give her a sub. She tries out the little like fly thing, like starts hitting people. And just when you think this movie could not get worse, it gets innovative and disgusting because he ends up trying to have sex with her daughter, who is not of age. I'm not going to show any of that because ew. And basically she gets there right in time. There's a tussle of sorts. There's some really terribly written, like the whole movie's terribly written, but particularly in like high intensity scenes, the lines are just notoriously like awful.
You're weak! Both of you! And you're always gonna be weak!
Get out of here!
Because of this event, she ends up being unprepared for yet another meeting. And yet at the end of it, she still has a job. Like literally, how do you still have a job, mate? Ryan keeps texting her some like horrid shit about like how I'm gonna fuck your daughter, blah, blah, blah. And she finally decides to take things into her own hands. She goes up to him. There's a tussle. She gives him a lick. He tries to like restrain her, possibly choke her out. And it's, again, since it's a high intensity scene, the lines will be more awful than the rest of it.
You should leave that pain to the experts. Suck my dick, slave. I turned you from a mousy little weakling to a sex goddess.
Okay, all right. But she ends up taking over because he's like a $105. You were very evenly matched. Sorry. Beats his ass with a camera, and she's able to tie him up in his own dungeon. She threatens to kill him. She mocks him and says how his nipples are offensively naked. Flogs him on his bare skin. Ow. Also, as a side note, I don't know who edits this movie, and I haven't brought this up, which I really should have because it's very disorienting. The whole movie is shot terribly, especially in scenes where she's like enticed by him or something, because they do this weird like queasy shot throughout the whole movie. But in this right here, they use good old fashioned like iMovie transitions every time she hits him. I guess because he was hooked up to that thing for so long, when she lets him down, his ankle gives way and he breaks his ankle. He stays there moaning in pain, and she's like, oh yeah, calling the police because you were sending inappropriate messages to my underage daughter. Now that Ryan's out of the way, Michelle is now back to work and actually doing her job, and the rest of the movie is pretty much watching her talk too much about real estate and mergers. And after the merger, she's now a partner in the new company because nepotism is alive and well, people. But at the end, the movie basically shows that she's now a strong, self-affirming, self-actualized woman. And the movie ends when the guy who ran the other company that was acquiring their company, but now is going to merge with their company, he was the CEO. He comes in and basically asks her to dinner. And I don't even know how to prep. This happens.
Are you sure, though, that you don't want something a little more kinky?
Yes, mistress.
During the month of our ancestors, during Wakanda month, wow, of all the 50 Shades of Grey adjacent films that I've seen, this is the one that I will say surprised me the most in the sense that it's not a romance. If you're preparing for a romance, this is not it. This is like a lot of sex around creepy. Completely passable, but if you want to watch it again, I'll link it down below. There you go, that one person that really wanted me to... I've seen it. That is all for today, folks. If you like this video, feel free to like this video. Follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD. Before I leave, because I know you'll comment about it, I was going to say suggest bad movies. I'm aware that Tall Girl 2 has come out. I will watch it. But if you have movies other than Tall Girl 2 that you would like me to watch, feel free to I don't want to watch that fucking movie. I know it's just, but it's where it all started, where it's all began. If you don't know, the first Bad Movies in a Beat I ever did was on that movie. So there is a sentimentality to me. But God, I don't want to watch it. But I'm going to do it because my curiosity just can't. So if you like this video, feel free to like this. I said that already. Put any bad movies that you want me to watch down in the comment section, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. I don't like this pen. No pen. Bye.